Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. And if you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. All right, so today we're going to be talking all about White Moon Selena through the houses. Yes, we are going to get into it. And I just want to mention that White Moon Selena through the signs, that video is already up. So watch that video to get a feel for the how this energy manifests, and then watch this one to get a feel for the where this energy manifests. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. If you do want to learn more about astrology, you can always head on over to the Cosmic Check-In podcast. And I also do offer astrology cheat sheets, all available at the Hannah's Elsewhere website, so hannahselsewhere.com. And you can also book a reading with me if you would like. There is an episode up all about White Moon Selena, so I go into more detail about the function of White Moon Selena in your birth chart. It is episode 47, so just to let you know if you're interested too. But what we're going to do is we're going to explain briefly what White Moon Selena is all about in the birth chart. If you go onto astro.com in the manual entry section, so the additional objects manual entry section, type in code H56 and you'll be able to locate Selena in your chart. For example, mine is located in the sign of Libra. It's opposing the moon. It's making a square to Venus. We love it. It's also making trines to the sun and Mercury, interestingly. Yeah, discovering or just finding out about White Moon Selena has opened up a lot of different thoughts and ideas for me. So, really interesting. But essentially, White Moon Selena is about divine guidance, divine protection, divine intervention, truth, connecting with our spirit guides, with higher powers, trusting that we're being guided, we're being supported, we're being blessed by our guardian angels as we move beyond fear and doubt. Of course, there are still going to be times of fear. This is not doing away with fear. This is not to say that we're going to just be amazing and wonderful within our White Moon Selena house. There's a lot of nuance to this, of course, but if you can imagine it like this, White Moon Selena acts as this guiding force. It acts as this spiritual connection, our connection with the divine, our connection with a higher power. And Selena in the chart can point towards some significant spiritual gifts we possess. So it's not really about the material world, it's more about the spiritual world. And also, White Moon Selena is tied to our past life, our past lives. If you are someone who's interested in that type of stuff, it is said that the good deeds we do in a past life are then in a way rewarded in this life based on our Selena sign. But overall, I think that Selena does point toward karma for our good deeds. And it's about aligning with what is good, what is right, aligning with our virtues, taking the higher road. There's also a greater awareness surrounding our shadow self. So, not letting those parts take over. And this is an interesting one because we explored Black Moon Lilith and we talked about how Black Moon Lilith sort of acts like the dark side of the moon. So, the interesting thing about this is that White Moon Selena and Black Moon Lilith, they are really connected. So maybe you could look at it as two sides of the same coin. We could argue that. But what I think is quite interesting is, well, I see White Moon Selena as representing the Temperance card. So the Temperance card, there is an angel, and it's so much about cooperation and harmony, balance. And so to me, it's like we can foster cooperation between Lilith and Selene or Selena. Some people say Selene, some people say Selena. Yeah, we can do that. We can bring those seemingly opposite parts together. It's not about completely doing away with Lilith, for example, or saying no, 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 but it is about bringing some kind of awareness to times whenever we might go overboard with Lilith when not integrated. And I'm also going to quickly add that I did see somewhere that when it comes to working with these 2 points, okay, so Selena and Lilith, they're both points, it's also important to keep in mind your North Node journey, right? Your nodal axis, your nodal journey. Yeah. So looking at all of those different moving parts. And I did also say in the previous video, as we explored White Moon Selena through the signs, if you want more information maybe about the relationship between Lilith and Selena in your chart, let me know if that's something you would be interested in. Okay, so with all of that being explained, we are now going to talk all about White Moon Selena through the houses. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, let's do this then. Let's look at Selena through the houses. First up, we have White Moon Selena in the first house. What does this suggest about you? Well, what we see here is that you tend to be protected by higher powers when it comes to your appearance. Times whenever you might feel like all hope is lost, the path is unclear, you're not sure of which direction to take, maybe this is where some assistance and guidance can come in. Guardian angels, so to speak, protect you, or they protect you when it comes to how you view yourself. I'm even thinking about any self-consciousness or any issues with your body. Yeah, maybe divine steps in to help you out. Plus, also look like you feeling rather blessed when it comes to the birth experience. Just something new could come about. And maybe that new thing, that new opportunity, it does feel spiritual. It does feel like divine intervention is happening. Hey, you know what? Could even be something related to your birth, the very birth of you and how you came into the world. And maybe in this regard, you felt blessed or your family felt blessed. You were protected in some way, shape, or form. Now, we do want to think about how the sign is going to show the how this plays out, and then the house is going to show the where. So, for example, if this is White Moon Selena in Virgo in the first house, maybe indeed this is so much about your health and your wellness, your body. Maybe, for example, feeling protected when it comes to your health, when it comes to your vitality, the very condition of your body. Or let's say this is Selena in the sign of, let's go with Sagittarius. This could be about travel experiences or adventures, or this could be about a new opportunity that opens up. And it's quite a significant opportunity. And then this is where you feel somewhat like you're being guided. Thank you so much, Selena in the first house, folks. Now we're going to move on to Selena in the second house. And this is the placement that I have, interestingly, and it is in the sign of Libra in my chart. Well, when we think about this spiritual guidance and protection tied to White Moon Selena, this could be a situation where you are protected financially, you are supported financially, even during times when it feels lost regarding your resources, regarding your physical security, or providing for yourself. Divine intervention may come into this It may even feel as if uh, what you do for a living, that involves divine intervention, almost like you're being guided to earn a living in a particular way. Or this could be about you feeling blessed how you feel safe and comfortable within your own skin. I just want to highlight furthermore, in the White Moon Selena house, that we don't experience anything challenging. But even if you go through these periods of maybe self-esteem issues or self-worth issues, what I'm trying to get at here as a guiding force, and we may not always necessarily listen either. But yeah, another possible manifestation with Selena in the second house is this related to your comforts or related to your skills and your talents, as if path opens. It opens right in front of you. And that was very true for me a few years back whenever astrology came into my life, fascinatingly. Now, we do want to think about the fact that the sign is going to show the how, and then the house placement is going to show the where. So, for example, this could be Selena in Leo, and maybe there is more of this leadership quality tied to resources and finances, or a part of it is about performance or entertainment. Then let's say it's Aquarius there. The resources that you accumulate, or the path that opens up tied to your resources, could more so involve innovation, being inventive, thinking outside of the box. Thank you, Selena, in the second house, folks. And now on to Selena in the third house. Okay, Selena in the third house, folks. Let's touch on your placement. So, this can manifest as you being protected, so spiritually protected, spiritually guided with respect to, for example, your early schooling, your early education, or relationships with teachers or siblings or neighbors. I'm not saying here that your relationship with these people is perfect. I'm more so saying that divine intervention could step in. So, even if, for example, there is an issue that arises between you and a classmate, between you and your teacher or peer, maybe there's a spiritual spin here. There's spiritual guidance that supports you. There is that divine intervention that takes place. Even, for example, this could be a certain subject that you're struggling with, or you're finding it difficult to piece the dots together, to connect the information, to process it. And it's Selena then that says, hey, listen, have you thought about it this way? Or can help make things clearer, a lot clearer. And a part of this could even involve you saying, hey, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to resist this. I'm going to surrender to this. And I'm going to try and follow my intuition to a large extent. Also, hey, divine intervention when it comes to short distance travel, short distance trips. I imagine this, for example, as you taking a trip somewhere and maybe the road is closed or it's blocked or there's a traffic jam. And then you find out later on that, oh, there was an event that happened that maybe you saved yourself from, right? Or you were being guided away from in some way, shape, or form. Or it could be some kind of new experience or opportunity that opens up as you are on your travels, as you are going about your day, you're on your daily commute. And it just feels like you were being guided in that moment. And you think, how How am I meeting this person? And that person could very well be tied to your soul family, for example. And I'm just using examples here, right? But essentially, this is where we see Selena play out in your life, fascinatingly, interestingly. Maybe also there's some kind of protection or spiritual guidance tied to your siblings. For example, maybe realizing later on in life that someone is your sibling and you finally get to meet them. All as examples, of course. Do remember that the sign is going to show the how and then the house shows the where. For instance, if this is Selena in Libra in the third house, this could be something like you meeting your spouse, you meeting your you meeting your future spouse or a future business partner. There's that. You meeting them whilst you're out and about, and it feels a bit like destiny, or it feels like you were guided to meet. You were protected in some way, shape, or form. Or let's go with Selena and Taurus in the third house. Maybe this is some kind of new financial opportunity, such as you gaining finances for a car that you really want, transportation, or a bike, money for classes to take to learn how to drive or to learn how to operate some piece of equipment. Thank you so much, Selena in the third house, folks. And now on to Selena in the fourth house. All right, moving on to Selena in the fourth house, folks. This is where we see divine intervention occur within your family, perhaps, or within your home. When it comes to property, land, even we could look at this as you being protected, so to speak, by your guardian angels when it came to how you were raised. So even if, for example, you weren't raised in the best family situation, there is still something here about divine protection. And maybe you deciding, I'm getting out of here. I'm not going to live here anymore. It's not good for me. You outgrew that space. Or this could manifest as you even feeling more protected for your emotional world, for your ability to process your emotions. And even during times when your emotions are overwhelming or they're difficult to process, you have a lot going on, there could be a great deal of trust. There could be divine intervention. For example, you finding a kind of therapist that is perfect for you, or meeting a new friend who is a great listener, who really wants to empathize with you. You may also learn really great coping strategies, ways to comfort yourself and to regulate yourself. And that within itself is such a spiritual gift, right? It's such a gift that you come to refine over the years. And another possibility is, when we think about this more practically, well, divine intervention could happen with respect to housing, property, your living situation, circumstances. So I imagine this, for example, as, a certain property that you wanted, and maybe you don't get that property, but actually you are redirected towards somewhere else and it's way better. Or this could be a situation where you're not home for a while, right? You're away out and maybe you're working, but something happens within your home. And sure, maybe that thing is not so good for you financially, but at least you weren't in the house. Maybe there's a leak, maybe there's a flood, something like that, but at least you weren't in the house. So this is what I mean. It's almost like you're being spiritually protected by these guardian angels. Yes, there is more to White Moon Selena, and that's why you gotta watch White Moon Selena through the signs. And also, I'm going to say here that the sign is going to show the how, and then the house is going to show the where. So if, for instance, this is White Moon Selena in, let's go with Scorpio. With that Scorpio placement, that could indicate a lot of really heavy, complex emotions to deal with, to cope with. That could also suggest such destruction or challenge to do with family, to do with your relationship with family members. There can be a lot of complex feelings between you and family members, for example. But because it's the way, you might find that you have the determination, or you have the resilience to get through those times. Could even be a case of you later on becoming really close to certain family members who you were once at odds with. There was that intensity, or there was that kind of pushback, that power struggle. Let's go with Aquarius, right? So White Moon Selena in Aquarius. So even if you might have felt a bit like an outcast or different, really misunderstood by your family, perhaps White Moon Selena can act as that guiding force that says, hey, embrace your uniqueness. It's what makes you you. But also, this can manifest as disruptions and sudden changes happening within the home. But even during those times, there is that guidance, that protection, that safety. And maybe you trust in that. You trust that there's something better out there, right? And I say that without trying to invalidate emotions and challenging experiences too, just to be clear. Like I said, there is much more to White Moon Selena in the chart. Thank you very much, Selena in the 4th house. Now we're going to talk about White Moon Selena in the 5th house. So with this one, it appears as if you are protected when it comes to your art, your creativity, what your hobbies are. You may find that divine intervention comes in when you maybe least expect it, when you don't even realize. It's almost like a path opens up and it says, create, have fun, play, experience pleasure, experience joy. Could also be about divine intervention to do with romantic relationships, dating, love, right? So I imagine this, for example, as you maybe meeting a romantic partner, and it maybe feels like fate. It maybe feels like, how are we together right now? I did not see that coming. Or this could also look like you being guided away from a particular partner or lover who is not good for you, who's not actually all that well suited for you. Maybe it's not a healthy relationship. So you are guided or protected in this way by your guardian angels, if you will. Also, this could even look like you being supported by the universe, by angels. When we think about your self-expression and how you shine, how you are seen, how you are recognized, even during times when it feels like, oh, nobody notices, nobody sees me, nobody cares about me, well, you will be mistaken because people they want to show you, they want to love on you, they want to show you that appreciation. Naturally, there's a lot more to this because it is going to depend on the sign and everything. So the sign's going to show the how, and then the house is going to show the where. So for instance, if this is White Moon Selena in Capricorn in the 5th house, yeah, it could manifest as, I'm so down on my luck, and why are relationships so hard? Why is romance and love so hard? Why do I have to work so hard for this? Or Why do I just feel like there's always these blockages and I'm so delayed with things? Nothing ever works out, right? But maybe there's a process happening there. Maybe also what you're coming to learn is that a big part of this is about your own ability to have boundaries or to have limitations in place, to be disciplined. That could even, show up when we think about your creativity, hobbies, art, where you might think, I'm not getting recognized, I'm not getting the respect. But again, with Capricorn, it's very much about putting one foot in front of the other and disciplining yourself to follow through. And there's still that guidance within that. There's still divine intervention within that. Then let's go with Pisces, right? So Selena in the 5th house in Pisces. Again, we're seeing the creativity side of this. We're going to think about your art. Well, you may find that you're guided strongly by your imagination, by your visions, by your dreams. So there is this ability to tap into those parts of yourself and to maybe even be quite psychic in a way. And a big part of that also involves being clear and resting and also trusting, surrendering to the unknown. Thank you so much, Selena in the 5th house, folks. And now we're going to talk about Selena in the 6th house. Okay, so Selena in the 6th house, people, you may find with this placement that divine intervention seems to happen when it comes to your health. Okay, that could be a major thing here. So I imagine this as you being guided in some way, shape, or form, protected when it comes to your health and your well-being, such as being introduced to a new health practice or routine, a daily habit that maybe even supports you a great deal. Hey, it could even be a new exercise routine, or maybe even you could avoid an injury, you could avoid a real illness due to divine intervention. Another possibility, though, is this guidance and this protection could happen literally when it comes to your work, your services, what you offer. For example, imagine this as you could leave a job and then you could later find out that every person within that company, right, every employee was made redundant, right? The company itself shuts down. And then you think, oh my goodness, it's just as well that I applied for a new job somewhere else just before. Or this could also be a case of you being protected amongst certain coworkers, colleagues, so people that you work with. So, for instance, if you find that you and another colleague are going for the same role or position, maybe there is protection for you. You feel like the universe has your back, so to speak. There is more to White Moon Selena. So definitely make sure to watch the White Moon Selena through the signs video, because that is going to show you the how. So for instance, if this is White Moon Selena in, I'm trying to think of ones that I haven't done yet. Let's go with Aries. Let's go with White Moon Selena in Aries in the 6th house. Maybe your divine protection steps in when it comes to a particular argument or a disagreement with a colleague or a coworker. Or this could be something related to the accident stuff that I was talking about earlier. Maybe, for example, you avoiding an accident, even though you may be quite quick or quite speedy, quite fast, Maybe also the situation itself is fast. Before you know it, you are out of a sticky situation and you feel quite blessed in this regard. But then let's go with Gemini. Yeah, let's go with Gemini. With White Moon Selena in Gemini in the sixth house, maybe this is about divine intervention, literally tied to your mind, your mindset, tied to socializing, maybe with coworkers, or it could even be about regulating your nervous system, calming your mind. Uh, Maybe also this is about certain emails or documents that get to you in a certain way, and you think, oh, thank you. Thank you, universe, for having my back in that moment. Yeah. Hey, it could even be a certain job that is advertised, and you think, that's the job for me. I'm going to apply for that job. And wouldn't you know, the universe aligns and you get that job. Thank you so much, Selena in the sixth house, folks. Now we're going to explore White Moon Selena in the seventh house. All right, with White Moon Selena in the seventh house, you may find that you are very much guided within your relationships, your one-to-one partnerships. For example, this could be marrying someone who is very much aligned with you spiritually and you feeling blessed within your marriage. Or this could manifest as you getting away from a particular marriage and being really glad that you do. Or this could even be something like you being engaged and then something happens and you're redirected, right? It just wasn't meant to be. Those are possibilities. Another possibility could be linked in with business relationships. I imagine this as some type of business contract or an agreement, and it feels like fate. It feels like, yes, this is a blessing. This is meant to be. But likewise, this divine intervention can come into the equation by maybe tapping on your shoulder, so to speak, and saying, go a different way. Don't take that role. Don't sign that contract. Maybe there's a little voice inside your head at the time when you're about to sign an important document and you think, hold on a second. I'm not sure about this. Though another possibility is you could get sponsored. You could sign a contract that is amazing and you feel really aligned with it. It's connected to you on such a soulful level and you need to do it. You need to go for it. I'm also thinking that you could be protected from competitors and open enemies. Right? So maybe there's some support from the universe coming into the equation when it comes to those kinds of people and your relationships there. Perhaps also this could manifest as you being supported and protected when it comes to the ending of a relationship or the beginning of a relationship. Even for instance, if a relationship does end, you may find that it's not as difficult as you thought it would be to end it. Maybe you even leave that relationship on good terms with that other person, and that relationship, okay, sure, it could be a spouse, it could be a significant other, but I'm also thinking the ending of a friendship or the ending of a business partnership. Do remember that the sign is going to show the how and the house is going to show the where. So if Selena is in, let's go with Cancer. Maybe this ending of a relationship could be between you and a family member. And you still feel clear. You still feel like, yes, this is supposed to be the way. I am being supported through this. Or likewise, it could even be a scenario where you feel closer to a particular family member. Even if you're married, for example, maybe this is where we're going to see great blessings within the family and within the marriage. Another example could be White Moon Selena in Sagittarius in the 7th house. So, for instance, this could manifest as blessings and protection when it comes to travel. So, traveling with your spouse, traveling with your significant other, maybe traveling abroad to get married abroad. And that could even be where divine intervention comes in along your journey. Thank you so much, Selena in the 7th house, folks. Now we're going to talk about Selena in the 8th house. Okay, Selena in the 8th house, people. Well, this is where we see the guidance related to these occult-like areas. It's esoteric. I think about metaphysics, the paranormal. Oh, yeah. This is where we see real spiritual insights and spiritual gifts tied to the occult. And we also see heightened intuition, heightened psychic abilities with this placement. I also see this as you being a major source of guidance for other people through their own darkness, their own challenging times, their own turbulence. But likewise, with you even experiencing a lot of turbulence or challenges, you may be going through a dark night of the soul, if you will. This is where we see White Moon Selena step in and say, hey, you are being protected. Let's help you through this. Even, for instance, if you find that life isn't fair, life is falling apart, money's difficult, debt is adding up, a lot of controversial things are happening in your life, maybe secrecy, crime, illegal activity, things that you would really not want to be a part of, but it seems like it's all around you. White Moon Selena may suggest that you have the ability to make it through those times, to maybe not give in to temptation, to maybe not fall into the same patterns, the same cycles that maybe you once did when you were younger, for instance. This could also be about blessings and protection tied to psychoanalysis or psychological distress, unresolved traumas, divine intervention when it comes to those very areas. So, for instance, if it is that you find yourself struggling with fear or self-doubt, or you find yourself locking certain memories away and repressing your emotions and everything, there could be light at the end of the tunnel. There could be greater clarity up ahead. Maybe also the divine intervention can step in by helping you move away from people who are not good for you, right? They're not good for your soul. They're not good for your spiritual growth, your psychological growth. Do remember that the sign is really important here. So the sign is going to show the how, and the house is going to show the where. For example, then, let's say this is White Moon Selena. Let's say White Moon Selena is in the sign of Virgo. Yeah, this is very much about the practical applications, the practical steps you can do to support yourself, the little things, and just taking care of your health, essentially. Or let's say that White Moon Selena is in Aries. Let's go with Aries again. This could be a whole scenario where you are protected from other people's anger, other people's rage. And maybe also there could be themes to do with SEX here. So you being guided or protected when it comes to SEX in some way, shape, or form. Overall, with the 8th house, it is about intimacy. It is about our sexuality. And so therefore, maybe this is where divine intervention could step in. For instance, you being guided away from a particular intimate relationship that doesn't serve you, doesn't make you feel good, you don't feel close. Or equally, this could be a case of you feeling blessed within an intimate relationship that is healthy, and you feel that closeness, right? You feel that connection. Thank you, Selena in the 8th house, folks. And now on to Selena in the 9th house. Selena in the 9th house, folks. Well, this one is truly about long distance travel, guidance when it comes to travel, feeling like you are being guided by your spirit guides, by angels, by a higher power, certain travel experiences opening up to you, and you're thinking, wow, divine intervention when it comes to long distance travel as well. So I was saying about how with the 3rd house, short distance trips, there could be the divine intervention that happens there. But for you, this is more global, it's more international, it's more about long distance trips too. Plus, we could see this spiritual guidance related to your faith, related to your religious beliefs, your morals, your code of ethics, and your philosophies. And also, we could see this as you being directed towards a particular higher educational subject that aligns with you, or social or divine intervention. Divine intervention could step in as a way to help you move away from a certain area that doesn't really align with what you believe in. I'm even thinking that any challenges to do with your beliefs and to do with limiting thoughts, things like that, it's almost like you get a nudge from the universe, a nudge from your angels to get yourself out of that, to wake up out of that, and to focus on what you do have, your blessings, you're enough, challenging those limiting beliefs, for instance. And as I was saying, with your morals and your code of ethics, this instance could be a change when it comes to your morals. And that within itself does feel like you're being supported spiritually, like the path is opening up for you. There is more to White Moon Selena, so it is important to watch White Moon Selena through the signs, but just to highlight, the sign is going to show the how, and then the house is going to show the where. For example, if this is White Moon Selena and Capricorn in the 9th, this could be a whole thing where the divine intervention is more strongly tied to any limiting beliefs you have, anything that you feel confined by, limited by. Maybe there's a push through, or you can overcome certain obstacles or challenges. Could also be a case of you really making it to the finish line within a certain course or a training program that you take on, or thinking about self-mastery here. Let's then say, let's go with the other earth sign, Taurus. If White Moon Selena is in Taurus in the 9th house, this could be a case of you feeling and experiencing a lot of pleasure and feeling quite good about your beliefs and secure, comfortable with them. Or this can manifest as you experiencing a lot of pleasure whilst you do travel, maybe attending certain music events or attending a certain food gathering where you feel this sense of safety and security and comfort, right? There's a lot of comfort in that. Yeah, maybe those travel experiences where you are being guided and protected, those travel experiences, they do involve a lot of food and indulgence. Okay, so that is Selena in the 9th house. Thank you. And now we're going to move on to Selena in the 10th house. Okay, with White Moon Selena in the 10th house, well, this is certainly where we see the spiritual guidance show up when it comes to your career path. when it comes to your professional life, what you want to achieve in the world, your ambitions, your accomplishments, success. So something that you really, really want to achieve, it's almost as if to say your spirit guides, your guardian angels are like, yeah, come on, you can do it. But just remember, when working with White Moon Selena, there's more nuance to it, because this could even manifest as you being guided away from a particular role or a title, and you might not realize it at the time. You might think, oh, why is this happening? But that could be divine intervention. So removing you from that particular role so that a different role can open up and you feel a lot more aligned. You actually feel more spiritually well. You feel spiritually connected. And I guess the thing about White Moon Selena is it's not really about material success or money and finances and resources. Of course, that can be a potential manifestation here, but it is more about a feeling, right? It's feeling successful, it's feeling recognized, it's knowing your gifts, knowing what you have to bring to the world. So indeed, there could be a lot of recognition for your gifts in this regard. And then that's even where you feel protected. That's where Selena shows up as that source of protection for you. Another possibility, though, is you even feeling protected amongst the public. So, if, for example, there is a situation and it involves the public, it involves being out there in the open and all eyes are on you, you still feel like you can tune in, you can still connect with your inner voice and with this calming, soothing voice that says, yes, let it be so. I'm on the right path. I know that this is for the good, for my own good. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Even this is about purpose, I'm thinking, right? So you feeling really called, like this higher calling, like this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Yes. And it feels so clear. It's so clear. And your spirit guides are the ones who are cheering you on all the way. There is more to White Moon Selena, but remember that the sign is going to show the how, and then the house is going to show the where. So let's say this is White Moon Selena in Gemini. Maybe this is related to marketing or sales or advertising or teaching in some way, shape, or form, such as, oh, my higher calling, it's to teach. I'm supposed to do this. It makes so much sense. Or let's go with Leo. That higher calling, your purpose could be about performance, entertainment. It could be about really putting on a show in this regard, or it could be about being a director, a producer, a coach. Yeah, a leader. Thank you so much, White Moon Selena in the 10th house, folks. Now we're going to move on to White Moon Selena in the 11th house. White Moon Selena in the 11th house, people, let's explore your placement for a moment. Okay, consider the spiritual protection and guidance tied to Selena. This may manifest as you feeling like you're on the right path when it comes to a certain dream, a certain hope for the future, a wish that you have, right? And you may feel so spiritually aligned with that vision. Could also manifest as more of a collective thing where you and the team, you and the group you're a part of, you within the community, you're all pushing towards a common goal, a common aim. You're reaching for that, you're reaching higher, you're thinking about your objectives. And White Moon Selena says, come on, you can do this. You feel like this is meant to be. This is what we're all supposed to be doing. You feel spiritually aligned with that vision. And maybe everybody else within that job or role or company or organization, whatever it is, the project, they're all on board with you. There's this banding together. There's this we're all in this. We can do this. We have what it takes. Come on. Plus, this spiritual guidance and protection could be tied to a certain petition that maybe you start, or volunteer work that you do, a charity that you give to, or a charity that you start or join. And I'm also thinking that even spiritual intervention could come in, divine intervention could come in within groups, such as a network that opens up, a network that wants you to be a part of it, or a group of friends where you feel this community, you feel connected, like you're all a part of something. But equally, the divine intervention could be about, okay, it's time to steer away from those people. You've outgrown that space, you've evolved past that space. So there is that to also consider. I'm even thinking about the spiritual guidance and protection to do with the online space in a similar way. Yes, this can show up with Selena in the 10th house, but also this could show up for you when we think about fans, followers, supporters, forming a community online, being a part of a community online. And then you feel like, yes, this is so fulfilling. It's spiritually fulfilling. It's emotionally fulfilling. And then you feel even really successful. You feel accomplished in this regard. But then equally, this could also be about divine intervention coming into it, where certain people from the online space, within the online space, they just they come out of nowhere. They come into your life, or you avoid particular people that you would rather not want to connect with. This does depend on the sign. Remember, the sign will show the how. For instance, this could be White Moon Selena in Aquarius, and it's certainly gonna heighten what I've just said. It is really gonna be about groups and coming together with a common goal, a common aim in mind. But then let's go with White Moon Selena in, let's think about Virgo, right? So this could be about more so finding your niche, finding your very specific group of people. A similar way we could look at this through a lens of Cancer with that a close knit. So with Selena and Cancer, close knit friends. There's that comfort. There's that support coming from them. And then yes, with Virgo, that could also manifest as you feeling like everybody has their role, what their part is, how they contribute, and it's all about how those smaller roles come together and form this company or this organization or this movement, whatever it is. Thank you so much, Selena in the 11th house, folks. And now on to Selena in the 12th house. Okay, so lastly, we have White Moon Selena in the 12th house. What I'm thinking with this one is this is quite the placement to have, because the 12th house is a very spiritual house. And White Moon Selena, we could argue, is a very spiritual point. It points towards quite a spiritual part, quite a spiritual area of our chart. So I'm thinking with this, could it be suggested that you often can sense that you have this guardian angels, guides with you at all times? Maybe some of you know that you can call on them whenever you need to, or that they're always with you. Or there are those of you with this placement who don't think like that. You may not connect with your guardian angels, your spirit guides. even just to move away from spirit guides and things, because of course not everybody believes in those, but this could manifest as you connecting with a higher power. So whatever your spiritual views are, whatever your beliefs are in this way, this is a placement that says you can tap into those things. You can connect with those things very well. Maybe you have a ritual that you'd perform every day to check in, to connect. You pray a lot, or you'd say certain affirmations. And maybe also you are very much in tune with your subconscious. And what I mean by this is you try your best to bring awareness to any subconscious thoughts that do give into self-doubt or self-limiting thoughts or beliefs, things like that. Maybe you try your very best to remind yourself that you are a part of the greater whole, that you are blessed, that you have what it takes to get through challenging periods of your life. I'm even thinking about certain healing remedies or certain spiritual practices with this placement, and you being quite blessed or gifted. I'm even thinking about here divine intervention to do with, it could be to do with your dreams, your alone time, sleep, retreating, maybe needing time away from the spotlight. That could be a major thing. So, for example, you knowing deep down when you need to take a step back, when you need to rest, when you need to relax. And you may know then in this regard that it's so important to do that, to step back when you need to, because that is just as important as being active. It's the inactivity that is just as important as the activity. And the last thing that I'm going to say here is divine intervention could show up through symbols, a lot of symbolism, synchronicities throughout your life, throughout your day. And you may be quite good at picking up on the signs. This does depend on the sign. So, reminder, the sign is going to show the how. For example, if this is in Pisces, another one here, yeah, with White Moon Selena in Pisces in the 12th, this is going to be very heightened, very much about your intuition, very much about paying attention to the synchronicities, picking up perhaps on a lot of hidden matters that others do not see, do not sense. And this is where you are guided. This is how you are protected through those messages, through that symbolism. Or let's go with White Moon Selena in Libra in the 12th house. You may seek to restore balance when you know that you need to get rest. For instance, you'll take yourself away out of the public eye. You'll make sure that you get enough sleep. You may track your sleep. You just might be more tuned in, more aware of when things are not so imbalanced, when things are not so regulated. And so this is how you're guided in a way. This is how you are protected spiritually. A lot of this comes down to harmony and balance and restoring that whenever anything is off balance. Thank you, Selena in the 12th house, folks. But with that in mind, everybody, this has been the video all about White Moon Selena through the houses. Remember that White Moon Selena through the signs is going to show the how, and then White Moon Selena through the houses is going to show the where. Thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate it, and I hope I've been able to shed light on some new information. Yeah, White Moon Selena, not really talked about in astrology a lot, so I hope that this was helpful. Also, these are my first descriptions. Who knows, maybe over the years after working with White Moon Selena more, my descriptions could deepen, could change, but this is my opinion. This is my view for now. I enjoyed these videos, a bit lighter, a bit more uplifting, I guess you could say. Not as heavy. If you do want to book a reading with me, though, you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. And if you did enjoy this video at all, if you find it to be helpful, you can always buy me a coffee. Yes, subscribe if you haven't already, everybody. Give the video a like if you liked it today, of course. Stay tuned for more, and I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye.